Oh, like, I'm a work hard girl and always have been. Like, I'm more relaxed now, but growing up, like, I didn't have a choice but to hustle. And while it helped me, like, get to where I am now, I was always burnt out. My cortisol was high as fuck. I was always very stressed, overstimulated, wired and tired, meaning that, like, throughout the day I was so tired, and then at night I was, like, up and like, couldn't sleep. Literally would do anything to chase the bag. Like, actually anything. Did what I had to do. And I feel like there was just this, like, initially at first, this mindset of, like, when you're working with very little, there's this desperation around it and fear where you're, like, clinging to what you do have, and you're like, oh, I have to make myself severely uncomfortable to get more money, security, safety, because that's what you're really looking for. You might think it's money. It's not money. It's the safety and the security that comes with money. And if you don't inherently believe that you are deserving of that and that you are worthy of that without having to be uncomfortable, that's gonna reflect to you in your circumstances where, like, you're gonna be at a bad job that probably doesn't pay you enough to get by. You're gonna maybe even be making a lot of money, like someone who maybe works in nightlife or who's a dancer or something, but they're like, they don't even want to be there, but they're like, it's so much money, I have to stay here, and kind of associating discomfort with money rather than having this mindset of, like, this is a birthright and therefore it's not something I have to go out and hurt myself for. I trust enough that what I need will come to me regardless. And that doesn't mean, like, quit your job and just think really hard. Like, I don't believe in that advice either, but rather, like, that's why I say to do, like, this energetic thing where you're pulling money towards you and, like, calling it towards you and knowing, like, I'm worthy of this thing, I deserve this thing, I want this thing, I know I have it in me to pull it into me, rather than it's all around me and I have to leave my spot and go chase this thing and hope that I catch it. And I know that that's, like, a weird mindset, but I feel like it's helped me a lot. And I noticed that when my energy is stressed and desperate and, like, how do I make money, especially really fast if you're stressed out, it pushes it away for me. Whereas when I kind of calm down and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna die. Not everything has to be catastrophic. What if I open myself up to different possibilities? What could that look like? How can I be open-minded to different ways this can come in without having to make myself uncomfortable or work harder? And that's usually when it kind of sneaks in mysterious ways or in easier ways. And you kind of have to be open-minded, and people act like they're open to receiving money from all places, but if you have a low self-worth, especially around money, you'll naturally be blind to anything that is going to throw it at your face very easily, because you inherently believe that it can't be that easy, that there has to be some level of discomfort that's associated with it, otherwise you haven't earned it, or, you know, things like that. You're just not the type of person, things like that just don't happen to you. You know what I mean? But if you have a dysregulated nervous system as a woman, I feel men, different story, literally different story. They actually do very well under stress. The stress hormones that men have, vasopressin, actually are good for them. That's why men fail in environments where they're babied or coddled. They literally, like, internally crash and burn when there isn't challenge or stress around men, whereas with women, they burn out from stressful stimuli in a way that isn't helpful for them. And even, like, women that you see that are, like, top CEO hustlers, like, have that sort of masculine energy, they usually have, like, some level of health issue or trauma or burnout or, like, neglect psychologically. And usually I would say too that women that have financial issues, like, inherently throughout their entire life, usually have some level of other hardship that has led them to believe that they're not worthy, and then that's bled into their financial life. I don't know if you can learn worth. I think it's something you step into. The thing with beliefs is that, God, I have to literally go. I'm already, like, running late. Beliefs are built off of storylines, and storylines are created by your experiences. And if you have an experience that is emotionally impactful, positively or negatively, it's going to become a belief. And beliefs across the board, if they prove themselves, if you repeat them enough, the belief will become fact, even if there's no tangible evidence to it. And it's through conditioning that beliefs become facts in your brain. So even like religiously, if you're raised into believing X, Y, and Z, you will reach a point in life where, like most religious people, that's why they're hard to argue with, because you're talking about beliefs, but it's solidified as a fact. So they're like, this isn't debatable. Like, this is a fact, when it really is just a belief. And so let's say, for example, growing up, your parent forgets to pick you up at the bus stop one day. That creates fear. That gives your nervous system a flare up as a child. You feel abandoned, and you have this belief that you're like forgettable, or that you're gonna get left behind, or that might happen again, because it created such a reaction in you, and you don't want that to happen again. And your brain's job is to protect you, so you're always kind of like worried about this threat of this feeling coming on again, this experience coming on again. So you will go throughout your life, and if a few different times someone forgets you somewhere else, or someone forgets to include you in something, or someone forgot it was your birthday, you have this like inkling of a belief, a seed planted that like you're forgettable, or like you know no one cares about you enough to like remember you. And these other experiences, while they have nothing to do with that experience, they're solidifying a belief, because now you're starting to be like, well, if this happened here and then it happened again here, like that must be true. And you start gathering evidence. So now your belief is really strong, and it's starting to pretty much become a fact for you, because you're like, if I tie it all together, like this is a pattern and this is what happens to me. So when it comes time to challenge that belief, even if you want to stop thinking that, it's really hard, because your brain is desperately trying to protect you from dealing with that feeling again. And in order to keep you safe, it will affirm any fear you have in an attempt to prevent you from that experience again. Meaning that you might not want to go. Let's say you get invited on a girls' trip. That's fun, and you might be like, I've always wanted to do this, like I want more girlfriends, like I want to feel that sense of belonging. I know that I want to not feel forgotten, and that would be an opportunity to not feel that way, right? You got invited, but you might not end up going, because in your head, your brain is telling you that's a threat though, because what if you guys are all getting ready for dinner, and then they get ready before you, and they all get in the car and you're still not ready yet, and it feels like they like want to go without you. And you start finding evidence in any way, pulling it from any corner to affirm that belief, in order to like give you the not only satisfaction and instant gratification of being right, but to protect you. And so anything that challenges your limiting beliefs is naturally going to feel threatening, and the solution is working through that threat, because that belief is not true. It's all a perception of the mind that you have come up with, and it's just taken up so much space that like you think it's this solid, tangible thing in the way, when like truly nothing is there at all. It's an illusion. Like any moment and experience is like a new chance for that to not happen, but our brains are like, no, it's a chance for it to happen again, because we're just like scared. So I hope that makes sense when it comes to, and that's like just an overview applicable to anything, but like when it comes to limiting beliefs with like money and stuff, that's why I say everyone knows their lower limit, right? Everyone knows what money they need to see in their bank account to scare the fuck out of them, to be like, oh shit, I need to make money. But people also have an upper limit, where you have too much of a good thing and you fucking ruin it, because you're like, I can't hold on to this thing, something's gonna happen to it, let me just ruin it first on my own account, that way nothing else can take it from me. And so whether it's money or anything, relationships, like confidence, ambitions, it's literally, people think life is hard and circumstances are hard. Yeah, things get annoying sometimes, and things just naturally like might not work out sometimes, but the biggest battle in life is the battle that people have with their own fucking head upstairs. That is the biggest thing that will always be in the way, is like your own brain. And the best thing, as someone that's struggled a lot with my brain, with my health, with my body, I've had a panic disorder, I've had anxiety, I've had agoraphobia, definitely some OCD, PTSD things in there. The most helpful thing wasn't certain therapies, wasn't box breathing, wasn't, any of that. It was understanding that the brain is a machine, it works a certain way, and the things that I might think are part of me and my emotions and my feelings are really usually chemical and in response to trying to keep me safe from a threat. And if you can acknowledge that when those feelings come up, they're a lot easier to work through, because then you're not like having a panic attack and like you're like, oh, I'm just panicking because this, and I know nothing's actually wrong, but I'm getting a familiar feeling because it's reminding me of this. And if you can have that strength mentally to do that, you could get whatever the fuck you want in this life, literally.